Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral. And this week's build here, I'm featuring my finished 70 Dodge Challenger RT, the Vanishing Point car, as featured in the original 1971 movie, which was filmed in 1970 when this car was new. And when they did this, the studio actually rented 5 cars right from Chrysler at $1 a day. And there's a whole bunch of facts and interesting information about the cars, but mostly, from people analyzing what was on film itself, as all 5 cars didn't exist after that. They were pretty much destroyed, discarded. Nobody truly knows exactly what happened with it. But they had 5 cars. 4 of them were 440 Magnum 4-speed cars, and the last one was a 383 automatic car, and which they used for some of the heavier stunts and whatnot. And the cars were pretty much not modified at all, other than the addition of heavy-duty aftermarket shocks because of all the rough terrain and stunt driving that they're going to be doing. But not all the cars were provided in Alpine white. There's footage of damage on the quarter panel on one of the cars, and you can see green paint in the film. And it is mentioned that they did paint the cars white, and they chose that because of all of the green grass in the background and the dirt. So they wanted a color that wouldn't blend into the background and all of their filming. And the easiest solution to that was white. That was one of the easiest colors to think of to do that. So they were, whether or not any of them actually came factory white or not, I don't know, which I think might be one of the reasons why this tail panel is white instead of black or argent. Like they didn't bother leaving that true to the RT. And also wondering why, they don't have the pop open gas cap, which I believe was standard with the RT package, but it may have been an option. But they did film in real time and do all the stunts in real. There wasn't really any sped up camera action or anything like that. And the car, even though in the actual film they don't really mention the car itself as far as what actually powering it, there is a comment about it being supercharged. Don't really remember that particular part of the movie. I've watched it a few times. It's not one of the movies that I really like to watch myself. The car chase scenes are pretty cool, but the film itself, it's a little older than me, so I didn't really get into it. Me being a kid of the 80s, didn't really know anything about it. It was more when I became more of a Mopar guy that I started to hear about it, then had to watch it. Much like Dirty Mary Crazy Larry, I haven't watched that one. If the opportunity arises or whatnot, I may actually see that movie, but I haven't really watched it. But I've seen Bullet. But the car itself is cool, and a lot of the chase scenes are really cool. It's funny to me to think, I keep hearing it's Kowalski's car. Well, really, it's not. In the plot of the movie, he's just the hired driver to take it from point A to point B, which, if I remember, I was like Chicago to San Francisco or something like that. Which, unfortunately, whoever the actual owner is in the movie, it doesn't make it. The car was destroyed at the very end, which that's fun to see too. When I remember watching that movie for the first time and seeing the hood flipping in front and the front, I'm like, that's not a Challenger hood, or at least it's not an RT hood with the scoops. It was a flat hood. And then I read that it was actually a 67 Camaro shell that they had used, which at the time was only a 3-year-old car. So that's, to me, those facts are kind of fun, but also interesting is some of the options that went on. I thought it was funny that it actually has that mirror on it instead of a sport mirror. But even in the box, the box art here, I got the older one here with the box art. You can see that mirror right there because they got some of the photos from the original movie, which are on the box. It's pretty cool that they did that on this particular release. There's the Camaro blowing up, and you can see some of the stuff, the bumper guards and some of the other stuff. But the model kit depicts a 446 pack, which I think is cool too. I may build one of these versions that way. That'd be fun. But because I got a bunch of them. But this particular car, I did want to build one like this eventually. Let's move my camera back to where it was. And I decided that I was going to do this one. So what's interesting too, since they rented these from Chrysler at $1 a day, is what it said. Nobody actually documented what happened to the cars afterwards. Nobody's written down the VIN numbers or that those records were lost of what the cars were. But they were returned to Chrysler. And supposedly all 5 of them were, somewhat running, but there was heavy damage to some of them, and but they were returned to Chrysler. But being 1-year-old cars, the only thing they really did to them was like, all right, well, it would cost us too much money to refurbish them, so they're supposedly went to salvage and were, you know, sold off to recycling yards, junk yards, salvage yards, whatever you want to call them nowadays. But they were sold off, and none of them are known to have survived or were picked up or restored. So who knows, if any of them still exist today. But there's plenty of them that look like it out there, plenty of recreations. But with such an iconic car and a movie car, I completely understand. Now, the 5 that were used in the remake, those pretty much still exist, and Steven's Performance bought all of them, whatever he did with them. I understand he's got at least 2 of them. There's a video about the one they restored with the Hemi, and then one of the other cars that they had. But anyway, let's go ahead and take this outside and film it outside, and we'll talk about the build afterwards. Well, here we are out in the Arizona sun looking at this Alpine white paint here. This is actually Scale Finishes 70 Dodge white paint, which is Alpine white. Which I like white paints, but I'm really kind of weird about them. It really depends on what color. See, I'm really good at seeing pigments and the different shades, so I can really tell the differences. And to me, this is a bit more of a gray white, kind of a dull white. So, for me, it's not one of my favorite whites, because to me, not all whites are the same. A lot of like GM whites are a bit more bright white or blue white. They've got a little bit of blue in them or some other colors in them. But sometimes GM has like a little bit of a yellow white. Which that one I'm not, too particular hot on. But some of these, like this one, it's white, but it's got enough black trim, chrome on it, and the other details that really, stand out and make the white paint actually pop and look really good. Which, this one, once you get all the foil and trim on it, but still not having the stripes and everything, is like, kind of go back and forth on it. I would like it better with the side stripes, but it is how it appeared in the film, and it's looking good. Still like the hood without the black on the top of the hood, so to me that looks great. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you guys think of it. But it's definitely glistening here in the sun, and since I use the Real Automotive clear coat, that clear really makes it shiny, and it's a really durable clear, but it'll lay down really nice too. So I love using that clear now. So when it comes to that, I've mentioned before, it's kind of expensive. There's a lot of details to using it, but I don't have any issues with it reacting to paint and decals and any of the other stuff. But anyways, you guys, let's head back on inside. All right, so when it came to building this AMT Challenger, I remember, it's kind of funny. I remember when the first time I got one of these kits, and it was a purple box art car, which, is right here on the screen, and opening the box, and to my surprise, it was convertible. It's like, whoa, okay. I wasn't expecting that, but that's okay. I like convertibles, so I built that one as a convertible, but that was the first time, and, being somewhat new to modeling, it was a bit of a surprise, but, AMT is known for doing stuff like that in the boxes where you think you got one thing and surprise you got another thing. And if it's mentioned on the box, I didn't read it very well, so, that's my fault there too, but, I just went by what I saw on the box and really didn't read it carefully. But knowing that this kit was like that many years later, and in doing the reviews on it, got me prompted to say, I never really did one of these where I glued the roof on. So that kind of prompted me a couple years ago after doing that video to actually start the bodywork. So I sanded all the texture off the roof first. I remember doing that. Then gluing the roof on, trying to get it lined up as best as I could. And, doing some of the bodywork. The first thing I did was I used the hood that comes in it but has the hole in the middle of the hood for the supercharger, which is the Yankee Challenger version. The kit has 2 hoods. The other hood that is molded shut just looked a little bit more sharp edged and not as nice. And plus this one had the Dodge lettering on the front and the hood pins. The other one Didn't have the Dodge lettering. I don't think it had the hood pins on it, but it just didn't look right. It looked a little too angular on it, and I like this hood better. So I filled the hole, and did that first, and then I put the roof on, and took care of that. And then one of the other things I did was I did get the whole front end glued on and smoothed out, so you don't have that seam right there in the fender that you would before, as far as building the AMT kit. However, putting the chrome grill insert behind the grill became a little bit more difficult. I had to cut it in 3 pieces, put the headlight backings on each side first, and then do the center. So that went in as 3 pieces. But it worked out, and I made sure to use the bumper with the bumper guards. It has 2 front bumpers, one with the bumperettes or bumper cards, and then the other one that doesn't. It comes with the rally wheels. I put the rally wheels on there and detailed those up, like how they came out. And then the Challenger is foiled, but I did it behind the paint and polished the foil through the paint so it stands out. And then the 440 Magnum decals from the 71 Charger kit, and then this Challenger decal on the trunk lid there as well. And of course, the license plates that come with it. This particular earlier version only had a few things. And then I haven't shown you the engine yet in its final form. So there it is. There's the hood. Pretty nice. I put the hinges on there, make it a little bit harder to put on. And there's the 440 Magnum from the 71 Charger. And I did graph the manual tranny on it, so I wanted to keep the 4-speed under there. So that's the 4-speed from this kit, but the 440 from that one. I also put the pistol grip shifter in it. I got that from my parts box. I couldn't tell you exactly what kit that came from, but she's looking really good. And I put all the AC lines and heater lines in there too. This one I cheated. I just kind of trimmed it and tucked it under the battery. It's kind of how they were on that one. You didn't really see where they went as far as the one I was looking at in reference. And the brake booster and firewall. And this motor pretty much went in without hardly any fuss. But really happy with the way it came out and everything. And considering what I was thinking it was going to look like, it came out even better. And those that remember my other video where I dropped and shipped the hood, I touched it up there. It's hardly noticeable, but the camera does pick it up. And then this mirror is actually just from the Revell 69 Camaro kits. It has 2 mirrors, a stock flat mirror like this one, and then of course the bullet mirror is that the Baldwin Motion version uses. So enjoyed building it, and I did swap the tires to the Goodyear Polyglass GT pad printed ones that come in the later Vanishing Point Challenger. This one didn't have those tires, the early box that I showed you. So I did swap those out as well. But really enjoyed building this. It was a lot of fun. After I got all the body work done, the rest of it was real easy to build. Build went really smoothly. So the body work was the biggest challenge after that, but I didn't find it too difficult. One of the things though, and I've been asked a couple times already, is how did I recreate that molding on the front and on the back after putting the roof on? Truth be known, I really didn't. It's smooth and there's no molding there because that's where you blend it all in. Trick with that is that's just the foil itself I trimmed, and once the foil is in place, it gives the illusion that that molding is actually there. And kind of the same thing with the back here. The foil takes the place of the molding and gives you the look that the molding is there, but it's pretty much not there or very faint after doing all of the body work. So not really cheating, it's just how it appears and everything on there. But it was still real happy with the build, and I did enjoy building it and everything. So I wonder what you guys are going to think of it and all their comments and everything. So please, let me know. Thanks for tuning in, subscribing and everything. And you guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.